Yo, what's going on? I've got two builds that I'll be running for today's video. This is the first one, and this is the second one. And I'll go over them later, but right now I'm gonna talk about is the styra really worth playing, and what I think about the TOC. So I think that the TOC is actually really cool. It adds different playstyles and a lot of different builds than before. It was very plain. But the only problem is it's weaker than it used to be. It's definitely not as strong. Even with the unique abilities and builds that you can use on this thing, it just, it doesn't make up for its combat weight and some of the damage it's lost from its normal headbutt. So yeah, but now I'm going to talk about is it worth playing. So for solo, it definitely isn't. It's definitely not a solo dino. It's more of a group dino. The second screenshot was the solo build that I use, and this thing just really struggles because on official servers you get a lot of mix packs and overpacks, and you're not strong enough to really do enough damage to where you put someone low. Like honestly, you don't even do a lot of damage. Even like the RAM is decent, but it just doesn't do enough. And same as the normal headbutt. And you're just not fast enough to run away, and your stamina's not that good either. So yeah, in the group, it's a lot better in the group. This is definitely meant to be a group dino. And the first screenshot was the group build. But I to those megs, I don't know why it didn't show that part. But yeah, going back to the solo though, for example, you lose to a Cerato. The Cerato's stronger. You can't even face tank a Cerato anymore. And you're about the same speed as a Cerato. Only difference is you have less stamina than a Cerato. So you can't beat a Cerato and you can't run away from it. And that kind of makes a dino very bad if you can't run away or kill it. Obviously good if you're way better than the player, but if it's close you're going to lose. Another 2 slot. The Kentro. You also can't beat the Kentro. The Kentro's just too strong to be killed by the styra. Whereas before, the styra used to be the best and strongest 2 slot in the game. Not only that, right now the Kentro's definitely the best 2 slot since this change. But the styra is really fun to play. It's got a bunch of capabilities and stuff, but it's just not strong enough. It definitely could use a buff. If you're not going to make it stronger, then you have to at least up its speed, because it just can't get away from things. In a group, it's really decent because it's just lots of movement and it's hard for people to keep up with that, but it does use stamina, and you can run a specific build to build into Just, but I like Thrilled Bond because it builds into a team play. So yeah. And then with Thrilled Bond, it stacks up to 4 times instead of 5. It should definitely be 5 because you can fit 5 styrex in the group. And for each stack, it increases by 7.5% armor and damage, so it's really good. And you could get that to like before it was 30.5%. For both armor and damage, but it should honestly be 5 times, so you could get it up to 38 if it was 5 times, but it's only 4 times, so that's 30% armor and damage increase. But even then, Ceratos are just better. Like, you're just better off running a pack of Ceratos, more stamina, more damage, and you're more tanky because of carry and feeder build, which I actually made a video about that in my last one. So yeah, it's just a worse version of a Cerato. The only good thing this thing has, this Cerato doesn't, is bleed, and that's about it. And then charge for covering distance, but I mean, it uses a lot of stamina to use, so yeah. Now I'm going to go over the build, or the 2 builds even. To start off with the first one, this is the group build. For the head slot, I use the normal headbutt which just does medium damage and it does bleed. So bleed's really good for keeping heal calls from coming in from Metreeds or Lambeos, and just keeping people inside of a combat timer. So that's what it's really good for. And then I use just for the second one, it's a wind-up attack, and you can either choose to release it or it releases itself and it gives you a quick forward boost while dealing damage, and it also inflicts a bleed based on how long it's held, but you get a 20% reduced movement speed while winding up. So just know when to use it. Your other options are puncture, so attack with your throw spines, impaling them into your target. Punctured enemies will suffer increased bleed damage and have reduced bleed heal rate by 5% per stack. Each of your missing spines will regrow in 120 seconds. So puncture's okay. It could be good in a group build because you could really do a lot of serious bleed with that. So you could be definitely very good in a group build, so someone could run that. And then moving on to Ram, a slow but powerful headbutt attack causes forward momentum when used. So when you use this, you actually slow down. It does lots of damage, but the only problem is if you want to use ram, then I would use the blunted horns sense. Ram no longer deals bleed damage but gains 50% increased damage and a 25% short cooldown, which that's pretty good, but you're missing out on Frilled Bond, which is for the group. So increased damage by 7.4% and armor by 7.4% to yourself and any Ceratopians in your group within 50 meters, and it stacks up to 4 times, so that's 30% increase in armor and damage. And so if you want to run the group build, you would use Just and Headbutt with Frilled Bond. If you want to do the solo build, you would use Headbutt with Ram and with the Blunted Horns sense. Now your other sense that you have is Braced Impacts. Successfully landing a Just attack increases your armor by 3 times for 2 seconds and restores 12 stamina, which that seems decent, but the only problem with this one is 3 seconds just doesn't seem to be enough. I mean, you land that and then you've got 3 seconds, that's not a lot of time. You're also not very fast to be on someone constantly, so it can just be a waste and doesn't play into the group really. I use Herbivore for my diet, able to eat berries and fruit, moderate food drain, and then your other options for you're able to eat flowers, nuts, roots and fruit, faster food drain. So yeah, I just prefer to have more food more often. I don't mind finding berries, I think it's pretty easy. So yeah, and this thing's food drain is pretty fast anyway. Moving on to the head, I use Bright Crest. Increases your damage up to 15% if inflicted with bleed, venom, toxin, poison or fracture. Skills based on stats amount, does not stack from multiple stats effects. So if you had bleed and poison on you, it wouldn't stack. Depending on that, it just, the more bleed or the more poison you have, that's how it stacks. Also, I think this is necessary because the Styra doesn't do a lot of damage, so yeah, that's pretty good. Your other options are Regenerative Spikes, which is the one that I would go for if you're not going to use the crest, and it does 25% increased stam recovery. Spines from Puncture will regenerate 50% faster. The main thing is the 25% increased stam recovery, because the stam recovery on the Styrac is actually very bad. That's why I think that one's really good. And then your last option, this would probably this one's not bad, it's just nothing is crazy about this one and it doesn't really give as much. Increase bleed heal, fracture heal, poison heal, venom heal and toxin heal by 40%, which that's alright, it's decent. And then for your leg slot, I use charge forward in a lane, causing damage to anything you hit. It's pretty good. They actually buffed its speed by 200, so you charge a lot faster now, which it's really good. Really annoying when you're playing against it, a lot harder to time a charge now. But your other option is Vault, which you gain the ability to jump, reduces fall damage by 40%. which it's actually really good, but the problem is charge is just too good to give up. So I can't really give up charge for giving you the ability to jump. Only few things would, you know, you'd be able to get on rocks that Megs can, and maybe a few other things, but there's not a lot of, the mid tiers would still, or the smaller things would still be able to get you, so it's just not that good compared to charge. Going back to Bright Crest, it's actually really good for fighting Megs, Metries, and just anything that does bleed. So yeah. Now, the subspecies that I use is the +3 attack damage, just because the styra really is just that weak now, where it just needs all the damage it can get. And also I just feel like it looks the coolest out of all of them. Your other choice is 2x throw damage, which is probably the worst out of all of them, just because it's you getting bit on the head, and you really don't want to be getting bit as a styrak anymore. And then your last option is the +10 stam recovery, which that's decent. It just looks very ugly. That's the only problem with it. So yeah, I just use the +3 attack damage. And I'm going to go over the gameplay now, because there's not really much else to say about the build or how good the styrak is. Definitely a nerf, but it's a lot more fun to play now. Maybe give some of its health back, or honestly I'll prefer if its combat weight got buffed. That way you're able to do some more damage and stuff, so yeah. Also, your kill potential isn't very high, because most of the 2 slots are just a little bit faster than you, so they end up getting away, and you just don't do enough of that damage that you used to do to be able to punish them. You still have great turn radius and stuff, but the kill potential on this thing wasn't that great, so I was honestly finding it hard to punish certain players. They got away with a lot more than the styrak used to be able to do. Now, in this fight we found a group. This EO was with the Titan from earlier, and we just decided to fight this as we just couldn't find anyone, and anytime we did it was the same thing, but either with even more people or just smaller dinosaurs that could actually punish us. So yeah, and the EO charged at me, I just moved out the way, and main thing is just trying to tail ride this guy, get a few hits off. Also, there's, the hit between Styrak's headbutt, has like a decent amount of time. I'm guessing it's the animation that's causing this. It just feels very long between headbutts. But I use the just to get to his side and get behind him. You can kind of like scrape people's sides with it, and it does actually decent damage and bleed. Ram doesn't do that much more damage than the just actually. So yeah. Unless it's smaller dinos, then you can see the difference, but against something big, the Ram's not even that good. But yeah. And you can see the Titans come around as well. And this was their pick now. I'm not sure why. I'm guessing they were just messing around, just fighting each other. But I just took this opportunity to just keep fighting the Eotrike. And you can see now the Titans are there. And the Just is just really good at making people hit themselves, their own teammates, because it's super fast and it just yeah, it's just all around good. Only problem, you just but so we decide to attack the Pycno, and you can see the Titans instantly help the Pycno, as that's their friend. And we put this Eo pretty low, but he just puts himself up against the rock and you can't do anything about that. So yeah. And this guy is faster and he just has way more stamina. So yeah, the Pycno gets away. Also, like, the Pycno could probably easily beat a Styrak, if the Pycno player is good, obviously. But yeah, just a bad matchup. Only thing you have going for you is the turn radius. But yeah. And I tried to move out the way of that Titan, but they end up hitting me. They've got a lot of range. And main thing here is just focus this Latin. and kill them, as everything else is a little bit harder to kill. They're just way too tanky, and the styra doesn't do enough damage for it to actually matter. And you can see I actually killed the Latin. And we switched server, and I saw a Meg, and I was on debuff, and so was my friend, and I thought, oh, well, I can take this 1v1, no problem. She can still kill Megs. A lot closer than it used to be, but still stronger. And I actually missed that charge, and you can see there's another Meg, and this makes things a lot harder. As you don't even do as much damage, and you're not as tanky, so you can't just ape one Meg and kill him and then fight the other one. And I'm just trying to get behind this guy. I'm not trying to face tank him. There's just no need for that. And you can see both of the Megs kind of just focus me. They don't even really hit my teammate. And I get really low here. But the other Meg comes about and heavy bites his own friend, and it actually ends up getting him killed. And then at this point I charge away, and my friend starts fighting the other guy. And the Meg actually just jumps off a cliff and ends up dying. So yeah, that was pretty much it for that fight. And we end up dying to some just big group, as per usual on the official servers. But anyway, we went to LBM, saw these two Megs, instantly charged these guys. Got lots of hits on this guy. He's actually faster. He's just a little bit faster. Megs are a little bit faster. But yeah, so you should have just kept going in a straight line, because you're not going to out-ton a styra. And you can see I break checked that Meg and put some decent damage on him, but we already knew that these guys were heading for the pond. As you know, it's just a escape. You know, anytime they get low, they can get in there. There's not really any risk for them. So yeah, it was the right play from them. But they actually came back out, and we just start fighting these guys again. And Megs are actually really weak. They're like, and they just play into the styra's strength of the crest. So it's just a bad matchup. And my friend accidentally hit me there. But yeah. I mean, there's not really much you can do as a Meg against styra's. They have better turn radius and are stronger. The only thing is you can swim and you're faster. And we actually killed that other Meg, and then the Megs just got off. It was a server reset, I'm not really too sure. And then a DASP came about, and DASP should be able to easily kill a styra. Maybe even two, like, yeah, it's close, but if you play it right, you can definitely do it. And you seen I used the just to get to the side of him and just whiz right past. The main thing, we just want to bait and switch right here, but he goes up on this rock, and I really hate LBM for this. Fighting at LBM, because people always do this. If they're Apache, they'll come up here and try and knock you off. If they're an Amaga, they'll do this. If they're an Aquilo, they'll jump up there and then down to another rock or little ledge, and it's just super annoying and you can't do too much. But we already put lots of bleed on this guy, so we weren't going to let him rest. So hoping that he was going to bleed out, or maybe even get some health back. And honestly, we just kind of wanted to get rid of this guy, because usually if you don't, they end up getting a bunch of friends and you end up dying with 0 kills. So it's very important to kill the guy. And you can see he just bleeds out. And if you can guess what happened, well, his friend came along, and I was already really low, and I literally got outstammed by a DASP. So that should kind of tell you what situation the styra is in. So and we found this circle on land. I could hear his footsteps, so made my way up. He actually clamped me, which is it's useless. It's not going to do any damage. It's not like Rex where you can thrust and kill someone while you're clamping. So yeah, this guy had clamp and bite, which probably meant for killing smaller dinos in the water, but good luck against other circles because yeah, I'm fixating bait, and charge bait is definitely the way to go for circle, because your main problem is just fighting other circles. Anyway, we went to SLL, found 2 megs, and same thing, we kind of knew that these guys would just go in the water. There's no point of chasing them, taking unnecessary damage. But there was a Titan, and we imagined this guy was friends with the Titan, but we also seen that there was a dead meg there, and he had poison. But either way, we don't really mind, we'll fight whoever. Maybe this guy was fighting the megs, but we're not gonna team up with a Titan. There's 2 styra, we don't gain anything from it, and it just gets boring. We become a mega pack and nothing happens. So you can see we're just bait and switching and using the just to get behind them and stuff. Even with Duke, it can be hard to time the just when someone's doing it. It's just really good. It's a very fast movement, very hard to predict. So yeah, and just getting hits. There's nothing crazy going on. If I was this, I mean, the best thing that this guy could have done is put himself up against the cliff or the water, but the megs would probably kill him if he went there. Also, you could see I rested right in front of him. I didn't expect him to be heading this way, but I got really lucky that my teammate took his attention, and you can see this conch here tries to come help him. And main thing there is just I'm trying to focus the conch because I'm getting a lot of hits on him, and you can like really see like this guy takes so much hits, and honestly he didn't even get that low. Like, and you can see there's another conch, and there's a random Struffy as well helping us. And the conchs just run away. They don't really want anything to do with us. My friend actually ended up killing the Titan. The Titan gave up and just sat down. And yeah. Anyway, the megs and the conchs were teaming up against the Struffy, so we helped the Struffy. I had a charge on the guy, which honestly I just feel like I never do enough damage. Like everyone's just tanking everything. I never get them low unless I get like way more hits than before. This thing just seems very weak. Fun to play, just very weak. Same thing, go in the water and they're safe. And I'm here, I was resting this, and the meg sat down. I was just getting my health back, and I charged this guy, and it should hit once again. Somehow he just gets away. But yeah, that duck you see right in front of there, it actually is the thing that did all the damage to me. I was near the water and he did a claw frenzy on me and tried to throw me into the water, but it didn't work out for him and I got away. And the meg gets in the water again. Just so either buff this thing's speed or make it stronger, because its ability to kill just isn't good. And me and my friend charged at the same time. We luckily cancelled it, so none of us took damage. Same thing, goes in the water. But then another duck shows up, who I'm not sure if he was with the other duck. I'm really not sure who was with who. But he's actually trying to kill the megs. And my friend is sitting here fighting the duck, which I'm honestly, we both weren't in a party chat or a voice call or anything like that. So we split up, which was a bad idea. I just thought he was going to come with me, and he probably thought the same thing. But I went after the megs and the conchs because I seen that they were running away to land, and I was like, okay, I can take this. I only thought there was going to be 2 of them, but then a third meg is right there. So this became a lot harder, and I instantly focused this one as he was the lower one. And I took a lot of damage chasing this guy, but I just thought I could get the kill. Clearly not. So he's just once again way too weak. And this meg right here messed up really badly. This should have been a free kill for him. I was really low, and I just out-turned him because the whole time he's sprinting, having wide turns. I'm sprinting and starting and having very short turns, tighter turns even. And I just try and get away, but you can see I'm out of stamina, and this thing's stamina regen is very bad. And the conch ends up hearing me sit back up and just kills me. But yeah, that was it.